All right, so leave it. Oh, it's recording now.
Okay, let's start it now. You got the questions?
Go.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you very much.
All right, see you later. Thank you for lunch.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
Welcome to the Gently Walk Show season finale. And my guest today is the best warm-up guy in the business. Warming up for Rosie O'Donnell, Martha Stewart, James Corley, and a whole lot more. Please welcome Joey Kola.
Hey!
Where did you...
Wait a minute, let me ask you a question. This is the season finale? I hope that's a good thing, right? You're closing the season out with me? Good. All right, I hope I can live up to the finale name, title.
Where did you grow up?
Maybe I what?
Where you grow up?
Where did I grow up?
Where were you brought up?
I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. So my family's from the Williamsburg section. But I grew up on Long Island, a place called Bayshore on Long Island. And I went to Islip High School because Bayshore and Islip are very close. So I lived in Bayshore, but I went to Islip High School, class of '79. That's it.
What was your first job other than,
My first, other than stand-up comedy?
yeah, like, before you wanted to do
My first job.
waiting tables.
All right. Well, I worked at a deli. I worked at a deli near my house when I was 14 years old. Then I had a paper route around the same time, 14, 15 years old. Then I worked at, I was going to school at the same time I had the paper route. When I was a senior in high school, I also worked at Augie's Baking Company, which is an Italian bread factory on Long Island. As soon as I got my license and I could drive there at 16. And then while I was working at Augie's Baking Company, I was going to college at the same time, Suffolk Community College. First I went to Brockport State for a semester. It got too cold. I came back to Suffolk Community College on Long Island, and then I graduated from CW Post. So while I was working at the baking company, I was going to college and going into the clubs. That's when I learned I wanted to do stand-up comedy around that time.
So that was the next one. How did you get into comedy?
You get into stand-up comedy?
Well, this answer is like twofold, because whenever we had a family gathering, like for holidays or whatever, all my relatives would gather, and my Uncle Ralph would play guitar, and everybody would sing and dance and tell jokes and stuff. Everybody in my family was kind of not that they were in show business, but they were very animated, So my Uncle Ralph would play guitar, and he handed a little 4-year-old Joey a microphone, and I would tell jokes and do funny things, and it got attention from the grown-ups. So I was like, I'm going to do more of this. I'm getting a lot of attention. So I could, my Uncle Ralph, my Uncle Angelo, my mom, my dad, all my aunts and uncles and my parents encouraged me when I was a kid at the family parties to tell jokes. And then when I was working at Augie's Baking Company, we had the Christmas party, and I also did the Christmas party there, where all I did was impressions of all the people that worked at the baking company. And it got a lot of laughs. So I figured, you know what, let me try to do this at a comedy club, because at the same time on HBO, there was a TV show, a documentary about the comedy club Pips, which is the original comedy club in Brooklyn, that Seth Schultz did. It was George Schultz, the owner's son, made this documentary. And Jerry Seinfeld and Steve Landesberg and Robert Klein and Joan Rivers and Rodney Dangerfield, they all worked there. Jerry Seinfeld was working there at the time, and Dennis Wolfberg also. So I saw this documentary on HBO, and I said, wow, I'm making people laugh at my family gatherings and at work. Let me try doing stand-up comedy. So I put together 5 minutes, and I started working at Pips. And before you know it, I was working at the Improv, because they wanted to know which one you work at, So I told Pips that I was working at the Improv, and I told the Improv that I was already working at Pips. And I lied to both of them, and they both gave me work because they didn't check.
Oh. Okay, where do you enjoy?
Where do you enjoy doing stand-up more? Woman like the Martha, or going on the road like the Bananas, or Uncle Benny's?
Yeah, that's a good question, because stand-up and warm-up are two different things completely. Like, you have to you have to know how to do stand-up to do warm-up. Like you got to be like a Green Beret of stand-up to do warm-up because it's really hard to do. But there's nothing like straight stand-up in the club. That's what I like. That's my favorite thing to do. Warm-up, it's not. When I do stand-up in the club, it's more like about the stand-up comic. It's more about like me doing it. But when I do warm-up, it's not about me. It's about the host and the show. And you're like a player. You welcome the audience into the host's living room type of thing.
You gotta go and do stand-up.
Thanks. Yeah, you've seen me like 80 times already, right?
It's brilliant. It's platform.
You actually make me write new stuff because every time you come and see me, I'm afraid to do the old stuff again. Although I got to do it because sometimes people say, "Why do you do the old stuff?" Because some people just seen it for the first time, you know.
Where does the material come?
Where do you get your material from?
Okay, see this? Look, I always carry what? A pen? A pen? Wait, that's my marker. Hold on. This is my pen, and I always carry my pad like this. Boom, a pad. Everywhere I go, right on there. Oh, the Dr. Oz in the view from anyway, I would carry a pen and a pad because material comes from everywhere. I mean, it's just like you could be in the shower and you daydream and you think about something. You could be driving a car and you daydream and think about something. Sometimes a song inspires. If that's my agent, tell him I'm busy. I'm doing a big interview. I'm doing a big interview to promote my career. So, wherever I bring my pad and my pen, because material comes from everywhere. But most good material comes from anger, something you're mad at. With me at least, because you know my act. I mean, all my material comes from something I'm angry at.
Hold 1 minute. I gotta shut this off, guys. You have to chit chat. Okay?